I don't even know. I never know if we're live. I don't even know if I'm here today, Rob. It's Brian Sosha. Rob's hanging out too.
Good to see you, Brian.
It's great to see you too. I couldn't see anything but white. I just saw snow the whole way in. That's what we do. We brave the snow on the way in. I was sliding all over just to bring this wonderful broadcast to the BKFC faithful.
Glad to see you, man. Glad you got in here safe. It's
and my sled dogs, toboggans.
Yeah,
Mush,
for those
mush,
that don't
whatever it
know,
is.
on the East Coast, it's coming down pretty bad right now, and unfortunately in Texas, I think they're getting hit pretty hard past couple of days.
I saw in Texas they were telling people to because they're all leaving their water on drip, so it doesn't. Now they're telling people to turn it off so they don't have a water shortage or something. I saw it yesterday. I mean, I'm glad the stars at night are big and bright. As Pee Wee Herman said, deep in the heart of Texas. But I wouldn't want to be there right now. If you're in Texas, we're thinking about you.
Yeah, Johnny Bedford actually posted a couple of things saying that their power's out, they're having issues, and they're.
Well, Johnny's probably not watching if his power's out, but I hopefully he'll watch the replay and we're thinking of you, Johnny.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's so much stuff happening, Rob. I know there's some stuff you want to get to today. I know that I'm very excited. We have Britain Hart coming on. We finally got her on.
We have Britain Hart. She's going to be joining us today.
Who, if you don't know, if you're just tuning in, she beat Paige Van Zandt in the main event of Knuckle Mania.
I know. That was an amazing fight, and that's what I want to talk to her about. I want to talk to her about where she was at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 1 and where she's at today.
Progression.
Yeah, looks like fighters, what she's been training on, how she approached this fight, and where's she going?
Yeah, not only that, I think too we can get into her very famous post-match promo that she did, post-match thank yous and stuff. And I also want to find out from her.
am a feeling.
Yeah, I've never in my life, and I'm going to say this 5 times today, Rob, I've never in my life not interviewed a person. Today I get to interview a feeling.
That's true.
It's amazing.
That's true.
But we have her coming on, and I know we're going to talk about some other stuff too, but one that I don't know a lot about, and I'm anxious to see what he has to say. Do we have him confirmed? You know what I'm talking about.
We have him confirmed today.
Tyler Goodjohn.
The
one and only Tyler Goodjohn, who has created some stress for himself, quite frankly, I think, and some stress or tried to create some stress for our company that, we're giving him a chance to explain himself, basically. Is that what we're doing today?
Yeah.
I found out about this when I walked in. I'm actually excited, but I'm not, because I want to take him to task.
Good, absolutely. I mean, some of the stuff he was saying, like coming into it, he seemed like a very consummate professional. And then it just went off the rails.
But that's like me. I seem like a consummate professional. It goes off the rails all the time, but then we get it back on. So hopefully we can get the Tyler relationship back on the rails. I don't know if we will. I'm going to be quite honest with you, Rob, and this is blatant honesty. I don't know if that relationship's going to be able to be rehabbed where we're going to be working with him and being best buddies anymore. I mean, the entire organization. I hope it is, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, all you have to do is check some of his social media from the past couple of weeks. I mean, everything from calling, David Feldman a CUNT. I can't even say it on.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. So, why?
Yeah,
what's going on? What happened? He said he didn't get paid. He said he was starting a new organization, some new bare knuckle. We're
going to find out about all this stuff. Is he starting a new thing? What's going on with God Beer? Because apparently he's coming back too. They're coming back on the buddy system. And like I said, Tyler, it's going to be interesting to see what he has to say. Because if we know Tyler, he's going to pull no punches. Pardon the pun.
Yeah,
but he's not.
Not at all.
And then, I want to see where we're going with Tyler Goodjohn. We're going to find that out.
Absolutely. And
excited about that.
Yeah, me too. Just recapping this past weekend, did you get a chance to check out any of the fights?
UFC. Now listen, UFC. I know there's a lot of UFC fans out there. I was a fan of UFC for many years. I know you are. But here's the thing with the UFC. I work for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship now. So I'm immersed in this product, right? And I got to tell you, I'm not ripping UFC. I have so much respect for what you do. And I know you do as well, Rob. But UFC, I can't watch it the same way anymore. Since I started checking out BKFC, it's not as exciting to me. So it's harder for me to watch. But the fight, I looked it up. I read about it. I didn't see it. It was pretty good, it looked like.
Yeah, so the big talk is, Usman.
Yes, of course.
Being
Usman.
the best now, considered the best, or the GOAT welterweight of all time.
Do you consider him that?
Surpassing GSP. His record is a solid record. Do I think he's the GOAT, greatest all-time welterweight? Absolutely not. But, talking about GSP, who would, obviously be in the mix, he has more title defenses. I think he's, faced a stronger contest of opponents. But I put a huge asterisk on GSP with his fight with Johnny Hendricks.
Okay.
For anyone who's watched that fight, I give the nod to Johnny Hendricks. Just looking at the post-press conference, the difference in just the way they look. I mean, Johnny Hendricks didn't look like he took any damage during the fight.
That's crazy.
GSP looked like he got hit by a Mack truck. And that's...
I mean, you see that. It's always intriguing in fighting. You see that. If you're walking down the street and you put these two next to and you said, I'll give you $1 million, who lost this fight? You'd be wrong.
Absolutely.
If you look at the guy, because it's so interesting in fighting with that. Now I do know you were talking about their record GSP and Usman being tied, right?
For welterweight records in UFC. Yeah.
13.
Yep.
Okay.
Tied for 13.
So
right now.
I know that GSP has been talking. People want to see GSP come back and all that stuff. Do you see that ever happening?
Well, I mean, he mentioned it. He said that he's not interested. He does not get excited over a fight with Usman. It's not something that wakes him up in the morning, and he said he's really not interested in continuing.
You see, I get that, but Rob, first, when I thought about this, when I saw what he said about not being interested, I thought, oh, it's hype. He's going to push it back a little further, make more money, get more interest in it, get the public into it. It's a way to make more money. But then as I was talking to one of our producers about this before we were on the air, he made a great point. He said that it's probably not about the money. GSP is a good dude, and he wants to let somebody else shine. He wants to let them. He's had his time, and it really shouldn't be about the money if you think about it. Because if he's going to come back, now's the time. The 13-13 build they could do.
Sure.
I mean, there's the unlucky fight. But who knows?
They've been trying to build a super fight with GSP for some time now. Whether it's GSP and I think the latest one was Anderson Silva.
Yeah, I remember that.
And now it's Khabib. So, they've been throwing around names, and it really gets to what does he want to do with his life. As fighters get older, it seems like they need to focus on family and personal life. And, he stated it. For me to take 3 months away from my family and friends, it's a lot. It's very stressful. And at the end of the day, you're not just preparing for a construction job or sitting at a desk. You're preparing to get punched in the face. You're putting your life on the line every time you step in there.
And you worry about your family. Dustin was saying the same thing when he fought Conor. Like, he just kind of shows up, does his fight, and his thing is he can't wait to get back home to his family. Yeah. Now, these guys are fighters, and these guys make money over years. So they're probably financially set if they're smart with their money. But do you think that the fight and the fighter might die a little bit when they start having the finer things in life? Do you think that's a right way to say things?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would absolutely say that. I think
should it die? I mean, it should, right? You want to protect your health and your safety.
Well, I mean, let's get to the primal level. How when you have a bunch of steaks sitting in the fridge, how hungry are you? How hungry do you want to go out and,
let me answer that honestly. If I have steaks sitting in the fridge, I'm going to eat every one of them, so I'm not going to be hungry, and I'm going to be looking for more. But the thing is, I'm not getting punched in the face and putting the steaks in my face. I'm putting them in my mouth. So these guys, they're warriors, and I think it was Rocky IV, Apollo Creed. You can't turn the light switch off, or some damn light switch. We the warriors, stallion. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Does money turn that light switch off? I feel like it does a little bit for some people.
I think it does, unless unless you have a very solid camp around you and your friends and family. The money goes to anybody. The fame goes to anybody. You can look at people that were putting out great music or that were fighting in prestigious leagues. You can see them in the beginning of their careers and how creative and how hungry and scratching they were, scratching to the top that they were trying to get, and how almost like they fell off or, quote unquote, they got soft, which I don't think it's them getting soft. I just think it's a level of comfort where you get to a point where, like, wow, I've made
up
it.
Top, yeah, they're climbing up and they're almost enjoying. We're going to crack them together. Wait a minute, let's crack them together. Tiger Life's together for our Tiger Life boys. I'll always put them Tiger Life. I got to shovel snow when I get home. Let's Tiger Life it up.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers to BKFC.
Absolutely.
And Tiger Life. I love Tiger Life. I've never tried the sugar kind. I've always tried sugar-free. Sugar-free is so good.
The sugar-free hurts my throat. Not just Tiger Life, but I've tried the Red Bulls. I've tried other energy drinks. It's just, I don't know. Well, I just love sugar.
You love sugar.
As you can see, I'm trying, man. Look,
2 days.
Yo, the chat called me out a couple of weeks ago. They called me out of how I'm getting lazy, and so I've been hitting the gym a little bit.
You have. I can vouch for that. I've seen you coming in all sore 2 days, and before you started off, you're wearing your Motley Crue shirt, so I'll make a Motley Crue reference. You would more look like Vince Neil how he looks now, and then about a month you're gonna look like Vince Neil on that T-shirt. You're gonna be that slim, slender, sexy guy. You're gonna dye your hair. I can see it, Rob.
I'm trying, brother.
All right. What time is it right now? I don't have a clock in front of me.
We are looking at 12:13, so about a couple more minutes
till Britain Hart.
Yep.
So a couple more minutes till Britain Hart calls in. Like I said, we got some great things for her we're going to talk about. And also Tyler Goodjohn's calling in probably, like half an hour?
Yeah, around 12:45, give or take. And I want to get some fan questions. So I have the computer in front of me right now. Please ask any questions you want to speak to about Britain Hart, about Tyler Goodjohn, some of the things they've said, and anything that
I agree. And
some hard questions.
You ask anything.
We're
It's
not
like an
going
ask me
easy
anything
on him today.
And not at all. He doesn't deserve that. And I think he might even know he doesn't deserve that. But we're going to find that out. I'm not nervous, but I'm sweating under the collar a little bit for this because
I think he should be the one that's sweating under the collar.
Because I don't know how it's going to go. He's a wild card, dude. He's a we don't know what he's going to say. He's a loose cannon of sorts. And now that he has some problems with the company, which it seems like I know nothing about these. I just know that from what I see, I was never not paid. I've seen everybody get paid here, so I don't know what he's talking about. But I worry because I think he's a loose cannon, and if he really feels crazy, he might go nuts, and then we got to put him in his place. And then if I ever see him, he's going to punch me in the face.
Well, when you were there, you were in the ring, you were interviewing Luis Palomino. He wanted to come in and talk to him, and it was almost a riot. The fans were going pretty crazy, and we had to get him removed. And
a disgusting display by him. I don't know why. So this guy, Luis Palomino, he's an amazing athlete. Mm-hmm. He works so hard. Everybody was waiting for that super fight that we put on. I'll call it that because we built that from the ground up. Jim Ellers and Luis Palomino. I was excited for it. Yeah. I know the whole office was. We were all excited. The staff. And then the next thing you know, I'm excited. I'm interviewing the winner, and he's worked so hard, and he's a killer. Luis Palomino is a killer. He's amazing. And I got the mic in front of him, and then Tyler decides to jump in the ring and kind of grabs the mic doesn't grab fully, but grabs it and starts going. I got shoved down by Tyler. Like, Tyler's not my best friend. I don't love Tyler. I don't think he should have put his hands on me, quite frankly, and I don't think he should have ruined Luis's moment. And I'm kind of disgusted by that, and I'm going to call him out. Now, see, you're heating me up. This will be a problem when he comes on, because I know you're heated up.
I'm staying real far away from you today, man.
See, I'm a nice guy.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I'm going to say that when Tyler goes to punch me in the face one day, too, after this interview we do with him.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued to hear what he has to say about all this.
Me too. So Britain Hart coming up in a couple minutes. As you're putting questions and stuff in the comments section, I think now as we wait for Britain to come on, might be a fun time to kind of just read what's going on in the comments and see what they're talking about here. I know we had a shout out for Big Ben, who won our Unreal contest. We always shout out Big Ben.
Big Ben, big shout out to Ben.
He's watching.
And everyone joining in today.
Let's see. Somebody said they want to see Hart versus Savage. Okay.
Jenny Savage, yeah. So that was and that's going to be one of my that's going to be one of my questions, because the fans were like, all right, you guys need to cut out this WWE shit. The Jenny Savage, all right, let's take a step back.
Please.
Did we invite Tyler Goodjohn in to speak to Luis Palomino? He made the trip over. He was here for a couple of weeks. Said, sure, absolutely. Talked to him. We thought it would be more cordial.
Oh, you guys invited him in the ring?
We invited Tyler Goodjohn in the ring. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that was the thing. We did invite him into the ring. That was quote unquote scripted. The script was come in, speak to him, but what occurred after that was not scripted. Jenny Savage hopping into the ring, totally off the rails. No one invited her. She hopped over the barrier. So at Knuckle Mania her and
I was in the
Hart
ring.
Got into it at the end.
I didn't realize what was even going on. It was crazy.
No, that wasn't, and
they got her out of that squared circle really quick. So I figured something was up. Here's the thing.
Dave was livid.
I could kind of see it.
If she fights again, I'd be surprised. He was livid.
Hey, well,
so I'm going to talk to Britain
that.
about that. I mean, she just went through a war. She literally got her teeth arranged,
Well, it's the same thing that Tyler did. But the thing is with Tyler, who's coming on later, as well as Britain in a couple minutes, with Tyler, you invite them here as a guest.
Yep.
I was doing interviews with him before. I was showing him the squared circle. He was checking it out. Perfect gentleman.
Nice as can be.
So I figured, it's cool. We're going to spotlight a new guy that we have coming in. They're going to show him sitting by the ring going like this, like they do. Tyler Goodjohn's here tonight. And he'd go,
yeah.
I don't have any tattoos, but. And then that'll be that. And maybe, if we want to do just a quick, hey, how you doing? I'm talking the ring afterwards. It's fine. But the way he did it, I'd say he went off script. I mean, I didn't even know there was a freaking script. Thanks for telling me that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you please tell me what's going to happen from now on?
Absolutely. I'm sorry about that.
Or no.
Some of the things,
beat up.
Getting script, sure. And we were a little concerned about that. We were concerned about the crowd and their response to him getting into the ring and speaking to Luis Palomino. And I mean, it looked like Luis was going to bash him in the face.
Dude, they had it. From what I saw, they got him out of the ring. Because I don't know, like I said, I was laying on the canvas. He gave me a little shove and I went down. But they got him out of the squared circle. And then from what I heard and saw, they had to get security to carry him out there because people were going after him.
Yeah.
So this guy, you have people saying like, who is this guy? From what I've studied, he's a bare knuckle fighter from England, right?
Absolutely.
And he did well over there, former pro boxer, great head movement. The stuff I've studied, I've seen all this. But then there's people saying like, but who is this guy? Why does he want to fight Luis so bad? And is he worthy of it? I mean, if you look at his BKB record and you take that into account, he has a lot of wins there, like 4.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a pretty solid record. He had a couple exchanges. One name comes is Sean George.
Yes.
Which they went back and forth. Him in his own right, he's an amazing fighter as well. But they put on a great performance together, and I believe it was a split decision. Yeah, it went to the judges. It wasn't a knockout or anything like that. But,
now, that's all well and good, but I mean, I would guess people in the chat, you too. I mean, we're fans of what we produce. We love watching this stuff. So, what are you thinking as we get ready to talk to Britain Hart in a minute or two?
We have Britain Hart that's coming up
about a minute or two, right? What are you thinking though? Are you thinking that he deserves that shot with Luis? Do you think he's going to get that shot with Luis? Do you think, like, where does this go? If he does, is he back with us? That's what I'm confused about.
After his performance against, I was about to say his
Felony.
old nickname.
Yeah, don't say that. He might beat you up. Hold on, I wish I had my glasses. I'd put them on all crooked and stuff.
I would love to get Charles Bennett in an interview, but it's nearly impossible. Dude is he's on a whole other level.
I tried to do an interview one time with him.
That was insane. So
dude, it was bizarro land.
Good luck on anyone trying to get a legitimate interview with that guy. Amazing fighter. Don't get me wrong. I would never say that to his face.
You would talk about legitimate interviews, though. This is a legit interview coming up in a minute.
I'm
here.
excited.
Britain Hart, I don't know how we haven't had her on yet. She defeated Paige Van Zandt at Knuckle Mania. And there's so much that I want to get into with Britain. I know you have questions about fighting, about life, about where she's at now. And I think, is she ready? The producer, I think she's ready to come on. You want to talk to Britain?
I think we're ready right now.
Britain Hart, welcome to the show.
Yay.
Britain Hart, how you doing?
Hell of a fight, Britain.
Can you guys see me and hear me okay?
I can see you great. You look beautiful. I was going to tell
amazing.
you that.
Yeah,
you look like you weren't even in a fight. You look wonderful. And I'm glad you're on with us today. So, Britain, I mean, we have so much stuff we want to talk about with you. I know you've been doing the media tour. You've been everywhere. I heard you on Sirius XM. You're in demand, which is really cool. So I'm going to start off right away. Rob's got more fight questions for you, and I guess we'll just kind of feel it out and see what happens. But, you were a bare knuckle fighter, and before Paige made her debut, and I felt through this whole lead up to the event, like you kind of felt in your mind that you were defending bare knuckle fighting championship. It wasn't just about you. It was about the other fight. I felt like you felt disrespected. Am I correct in saying this?
No, you're absolutely right. That's definitely correct.
So you kind of thought you were defending bare knuckle against this. I don't think she's evil, but that's what I felt like how your mind said, this evil Paige who's coming in and thinking it's an easy thing to do. And I dig that you stood up for that.
Well, I think a lot of people weren't really giving bare knuckle credit. They were like, there's not really real talent on there. And you're kind of getting the washed up fighters that didn't make it in the UFC. And, it's kind of like that. Like anybody can come in and beat a bare knuckle fighter when it's actually the opposite. It's like bare knuckle is bare knuckle. It's the rawest and purest, way to have combative sports. And I think when people come in there and think they're going to do well, it's a big wake up call. Like we saw it with Paulie. He's an awesome example coming in, an extremely awesome, well-known boxer, who did really well in his career. And even him coming in with the skill and talent he had, it was an experience for him. And I think Paige is probably one of the better top tier female athletes that's known worldwide, and she has some great accomplishments. So when she came in thinking that she's going to dominate and kind of take over BKFC, kind of like how Beck Rawlings was, I think that it was kind of like a hold up. Wait a minute, Beck did it, and she did, but it was kind of really new in the beginning. It was only, the first bare knuckle. I mean, they just legalized it. So Beck was truly one of the originating starting females. So it was a little different back then, but now that we're more established and we've been growing, the company has been growing, big hats off again to Feldman for making all those dreams happen. And when everyone said, oh, they're not going to be around, this is just a phase. I mean, he is just shutting that down. So it kind of inspired me to be like, I know a lot of people don't think a lot about me, or they might say I'm a mediocre boxer, a mediocre this, but really that isn't the case. I'm a really great fighter. I'm a good fighter and I'm a good boxer. I just took challenges. I took the experience and I fought hard people. I fought tough people. I fought above my weight class. So not a lot of people know that about me. So now that I'm in bare knuckle, I get to defend that. And I kind of feel like where I was in the second, the fifth, now the 13th, now the 16th, I feel like that's something that I earned and I should get respect for it. And Paige coming in saying it was easy, and kind of was saying that, oh, bare knuckle is a joke and bare knuckle fighters are easy when they're really not.
Britain, you showed her that bare knuckle's not easy, and I did a radio show with her for a short run on Sirius XM, and I actually spoke to her. We talked about you after the fight, and I think she would give you the utmost respect and give bare knuckle the utmost respect. And I mentioned, we played the clip where you said it's the hardest you've ever been hit, and I think that Paige, she seemed like she couldn't get her rhythm to the 5th round, maybe, and that's where, did you feel that when you were fighting her?
Well, and definitely, and to kind of play off what you just said too, I did hear Paige's interview after the fight, and I do want to say that it meant the world to me, and that I really honestly fight for that respect. Like, at the end of the day, that's all I want. I want the respect. I want to influence and motivate other people. I fight for other people to know that they can do it, and then they can fight out of whatever they're going through. So, but for me, through other fighters, all I want is the respect. I don't want negative and people to say she sucks or she's mediocre or she's not the best. I just want the respect. So to get that from Paige was great. But, a lot of things that have been kind of bothering me about the post-fight talk, and a lot of people are like, well, if it went one more round, Paige would have finished Britain.
I think it's where Rob was going to head next.
And that bothers me because, no, I wasn't on my way out. Yeah, I mean, it's 5 rounds, and I was definitely giving it all I had. And so, it might have appeared that I was a little more tired or gassed, but I was still throwing. I was still moving. I was still blocking shots. I was still very much in the 5th round. And I honestly think, a lot of people can disagree with me, and that's totally cool. I respect it, but I think I won the 5th round. I think that only people are giving her the 5th round because she actually started to turn it up. And because the 4 rounds were so not as much her turning it up, I think that it just appeared that way. But if you rewatch the 5th round, look for certain things. She did hit me some really good times. I definitely give her that, and hard times, but I stayed there. I stayed there with her, and I exchanged with her. When I hit her, and at the very end of 5th round, you'll see it, I hit her with a jab and she went straight back, 3 steps backwards. And then I came back in with the cross, and then, I think we tied up, and then bam, the round was over. So again, I feel like the last 2 hits I threw on her in the 5th round were crucial, damaging hits. And I think in the 6th round, I would have just pulled, that's what I am. I'm a fighter, and I definitely have heart too. So that 6th round, if it would have came, I still feel like I would have beat her. So that's kind of answering your question. Yeah, the rhythm, in the 1st round, I was definitely thinking, all right, Britain, you can do this. You got to do this. Now I see her game plan, because that was the whole thing going into the fight. That was honestly the biggest thing I was worried about. What is she going to do? Is she going to come in and charge and put pressure on me, which is ultimately kind of what we trained for in fight camp. That was really what we thought she was going to do.
Well, hold on, Britain. I have a question over that, because you're saying that she's going to come in. Is she going to rush you and fight you? Now, at the press, or is the weigh-in? Is the weigh-in? At the weigh-in, there's some static there too. Where did that play on your mind at all? Because I couldn't hear what happened, but it looked like she was the first person to grab you by the throat and attack, kind of push.
Yeah. What happened there?
Occurred? Can you explain that?
How did that even transpire?
Thank you, Rob. Yeah.
Yeah. So, obviously the press conference the day before went pretty good, but it was, there was a comment that she made in the press conference, and I didn't really get to speak on it. So I was kind of she's coming in and saying, oh, I'm getting paid this. And it seemed like she kind of cared about the money, and she kind of was establishing that she was the star. So in the weigh-ins, my point was to go up and be like, you think you're going to, to get up in her face and make her uncomfortable and get super
I'm uncomfortable.
Close
Step back.
and be like this, that was what my thought process was.
Sure.
You're not going to come in here and be this, I'm the one that you're going to have to get close to, and I'm ready for it. So that was kind of my mental message, that she thought she was going to out dirty box me. She had another thing coming. But when I came up to her, I think it's pretty relatively normal in weigh-ins to get close to someone and be nose to nose. So I didn't think that I was doing anything highly disrespectful or touching her first. But as soon as I did that, she put her hand around my throat, and it was just it was kind of like a blackout moment. I feel really bad, because obviously, I do want to help motivate kids and be a good role model. So I'm sure
I felt worse for David Feldman, who was in the middle of that. I know he's a former pro boxer, but I was nervous for him. I was nervous to come up that stage and even do my quick hit before after you guys were done. I know Rob's got a ton of questions for you too, because I could ask questions to you all day. But I know, Rob, you wanted to examine early on in her career how she grew with us.
Yeah. So Britain, thanks for joining us. Going into your first fight and going into your last fight in Knuckle Mania, What was the difference? Because you spoke to Paige. She's never fought bare knuckle before. You know, your first fight was a 5-rounder versus Beck Rawlings, which went on.
Right.
Which some say that it was very contested, that you may have, you know, won that fight. The difference in your leg, you know, head movement, leg work, your overall boxing and approach to BKFC at Knucklemania looked totally different from your first fight. What was your game plan going into it? And what, you know, you mentioned, you know, what you thought Paige's game plan was. How did you prepare for this fight? What did you do different versus Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 1?
Right. So the biggest difference I will say in the first bare knuckle fight, you know, I was kind of training myself. So I really didn't, you know, I was in and out of the gym. You know, I still was going to Lux, but I didn't really have someone where I was with every day that was really keeping me on a concrete schedule. So the team I had, I feel like made the biggest difference going into the fight. So it was very important to me, and it made sure that I was physically, but mentally and spiritually strong. So that's a huge difference. So you can see the confidence and the composure in me, because I know that people have my back. Where in the first one, I was kind of like, oh man, it's me against the world. Like I literally felt like it was like the Hunger Games. Like they're throwing me in here with this girl who's from like the 2nd district, who has all this money and support, and here I am by myself. I don't have anybody, but damn, I'm gonna fight my ass off, you know. So this one, preparing for it again, you know, I said it kind of earlier, I really think that we prepared for Paige to come in and think that because she's a UFC star that she can work the clinch, and that her clinch is going to be super dangerous, and that she's going to dirty box me and rough me up because she's bigger. So that's what we planned on, for her to ragdoll me, you know, because I am kind of a smaller girl, that she might ragdoll me and do some things. So, you know, I think it's kind of funny when people think that, because if even when you watch my fight film back from Beck, you can see that I'm naturally like gifted in the clinch. Like I've never done MMA or Muay Thai or anything like that, but if you clinch, I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna bang with you. You know, the only person I really didn't do it well with was Christine, but that's, you know, a different topic.
Speaking of, she's been calling everybody out. And I wanted to take your temperature on the women's division. What happened after post-fight Jenny Savage hopping into the ring? She's been all over social media.
Can we I don't mean, because I have a question about post-fight too. Can we go in like a strange order here? Because I want to find out about Jenny too. And we're going to talk about Jenny in a minute, what happened with that.
A lot to talk about.
Yeah, there's so much with you, Britain. And by the way, on with us right now, she defeated Paige Van Zandt at Knucklemania. I've never interviewed a feeling, not a person. I'm excited that you're here. And and I was the one that had the honor of doing the post-fight interview with you before the chaos started with Jenny, which Rob was talking about. Now, during the post-fight, of course, you screamed because you were excited. And I agree. I was excited for you, how you felt. I can't imagine. But then you said that you are a feeling, not a person. And I know that kind of went viral. Could you quickly, before we get into the Jenny Savage talk, explain where that came from or why you said that? What is that? Did it get off the cuff? Where did that come from?
Yeah, so I definitely probably didn't relay it the best way because of the emotions.
I love this.
And
Sure.
my mouth was in a lot of pain.
I'm
So the
sure.
screaming was kind of like, you know, like to kind of keep my endorphins up to keep the pain away. But it was a really real thing and a real message that I want to get out. And I think a lot of people really did get it, as crazy as it was executed. But basically, honestly, in training camp, you know, I was away from my family. You know, I was at a gym that treated me like family, and they were amazing. I had the best time at this gym. I met so many people on the way, and you know, I had this girl come in who was like 13, and she told me her story on her fighting cancer, and they're actually the one who made me my fight hats. So, you know, hearing her story, there's another girl in the gym, you know, hearing her story on what she's been through, and just a lot of, you know, and without divulging so much personal information about other people, there's a lot of things going on with other people in their lives, and they talk to me about, and they're like, man, you're such a motivation, and you're inspiring, and you got this, and we believe in you. And I hear that. So I was running on the beach one day, and I was like, you know, I actually kind of hurt my knee a little bit. I twisted it. I did something really stupid on my off time, and I messed my knee up, and I was like, dang it. And I was like, don't let this be an excuse. Don't let this be a reason why I don't win this fight. Like, I need you to make my knee better. I need my knee to heal so I can go and do this. And it's not for me. I don't need it for me. I need it for the other people that believe in me, the other people that
Wonderful.
are going through X, Y, and Z, the people that are saying, that they fought cancer, and that I'm motivating them to be positive and to be happy. And that, I can go in a place and they be like, wow, your energy is so great. Like, so many
You're
people tell me
taking their
that. They
vibes.
say,
You're taking their
Yeah.
vibes and you're giving them the vibes back. Essentially is what you're saying. You're the positive vibes, if he gets positive vibes. And that's kind of what you meant through that. Like, it was just to take you're the woman of the people. You're speaking for everyone kind of thing, right?
Absolutely.
I love
Yeah.
that.
So I said that, and I was like, and I even said it when I was running. I said, let me do this because I am a feeling. Like, that's what I kind of tell myself when I
get
push
it.
myself, when I'm dying on the speed bag, when I'm, hitting the heavy bag, when I'm running, when I'm tired and sore. I literally tell myself, I'm like, I am a feeling. Like, you can push past this. Like, a person will
Love it.
break. When you meet a person, they might, say, hey, Steve, whatever, you go on your way. But when that person makes you feel special, when they make you feel like you can do something, when they smile and just treat you with kindness and be like, hey, how's your day? And they're genuine about it. That's the feeling. And that feeling stays with you. Like, how many times can you remember, like, having someone who said,
A
oh,
nice
you
thing,
dropped
yeah.
this and picked something up and gave it to you and did something. You're like, wow. Like, and that feeling of, man, someone helped me out and looked out for me. It stays with you throughout the day, even if it's something so
That's a
small
wonderful
and
thing. That's a
stupid
wonderful
as
thing,
that.
Britain. That's a wonderful thing. And the thing is, when you're talking about feelings, now we can get to Rob's question. This is obviously sponsored by Tiger Life because you talk faster and more excitable than I do, Britain, which is insane to me. It's a great thing. But I know Rob had the question about the fight, and I don't know how much more time we have you for, but Jenny Savage, that's a feeling. That's a feeling we'd like to hear more about, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Who do you want to fight next? Who do you want to see? There's the division's growing right now. It seems very competitive. People have been calling out Paige. They've been calling out you. Who do you want to fight next?
It's a good talk for me, like on a personal reason, like, and I've said this since day one, and it's so true. So anyone who says otherwise is full of shit. So excuse my language, but I fight anybody and everyone that's put in front of me. That's why my record has been the way it is. That's why people think the way they want, but I fight anybody. So I'm not scared and not ducking from anybody. But on a personal reference, obviously Jenny Savage, I feel like she's one of those, bloggers, YouTubers that sits at home and says, oh, how can I be famous? And let me piss off everybody and try to get, famous that way. So I think that she's doing that. And it's working, and it usually does. It pisses me off. But it's like, people are like, don't fight her because that gives her credibility and rewards a negative consequence. So it's like, but
So would you fight her though? I mean, if that
feel-
fight was put in front of you, Britain, if that fight was put in front of you, if that ends up happening, I mean, the boss man, whoever puts it in front of you, then you would do the fight. Would you be willing to fight her if that happened?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Now, would your
absolutely. I
anger
wanna
though
fight
work
that
against you
girl.
with that? Did she upset you and made you feel a certain way? I feel like that can work against fighters sometimes. But I feel like if you get angry, I feel like it helps you in a way. Is that correct to say?
Yeah, I was about to say I'm a feeling. So because
it.
I'm a feeling, trust me.
That's it.
If you make me mad, that's the last thing you want to do. That's what with Paige, like, good example. Watch that weigh-in. Did you see when she put her hand on my throat? Like, when I went into that ring, I'm telling you, on the bat, I wasn't even nervous because all I could think of in my head was, I'm going to touch you first. I will touch you first. And I might have been a little more nervous if she didn't rile me up in weigh-ins, because that first knuckle up thing is extreme. Like, you don't know what to do. Like, should you take a step back? Should you angle out? Should you charge? That's like the hardest thing, I think, in bare knuckle. So for her to rile me up and put her hand on my neck, I'm telling you, all I could think of was, I will touch you first.
You
And
said
when I
that.
watched
You
the
said
fight
that to
back-
her. You actually said that to her. Yeah.
I did. And when I watched the fight back, I promise you, the only thing I wanted to watch and see was, damn, I hope I hit her first.
That's right.
So yeah, so trust me, my emotions are like the best thing for me. Like, that's really what makes me, as you can see from talking to me, I'm a super passionate person. Like, passion just is one of the best words in the world to describe me. So I'm passionate about everything. So if I do something, I give it 100%. So with the Jenny Savage thing, she's just going to motivate me to, like, I just want to shut her up and, like, kind of like, I honestly, she'd be one I would want to either just knock out, like, destructively knock out first round, be like, get the hell out of here, and pour water on her again, or
Wow.
put like this crazy boxing clinic and just be like, yo, like, I'm playing with you. Like, again, like with, Randy, and I kind of said it to Paige, like, this is my 50%, because my 100% is going to, like, knock you out and kill you. You know what I mean? But, like, I feel like I could play with her, but it's kind of like one of those things like you kind of toss up and it's a learning lesson. You don't play with your food. You should just finish it. So I don't know.
Well, you're the one to teach that lesson, and you're not just
experience.
a feeling. You're a passionate feeling, as I can tell, as Rob can tell. Now, I don't know how much more time we have, Rob. I know you're on the clock with Britain Hart. It's about, what, 12:38, 12:40 right now. So I know we have to get Tyler Goodjohn on.
Yep. So we're getting ready to wrap it up.
We might have to roll, man. I hope you come on again and often. I enjoy talking to you. I'm sure Rob does too. Rob, do you have any parting questions or anything?
Thank you so much for joining us.
You're
Brent.
good?
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we really do. And,
Absolutely.
and congratulations on the big
I'm a
win.
talker, so I can definitely talk
that's
you guys
great.
head
That's
off
great.
about
We'll-
the fight world. So
We'll set in an entire segment and
We'll do like an hour interview one time with her.
Yeah,
It might last,
absolutely.
an interview
Next
with me and
bout.
you. An interview with me and you might last like 7 days because we both talk so much. But I'm already running
man,
behind,
I
Britt, and
love
I
it. That's
apologize. You're awesome. I know Rob's awesome, and thank you so much for coming on. And
I'm
just
sorry.
keep
I'm
doing what you're
going to
doing.
slide this in really
Please.
fast because
Do it.
our fans are asking the questions. We love our fans so much, and,
Please.
and they obviously love our fighters, and we support them. One of our questions in the chat was, were you surprised when you were announced the winner of that fight versus Paige Van Zandt? Were you surprised, or do you think you had it in the bag?
No, I truly was surprised. Actually, I knew I won, but I really did. I knew I won, and my team were like, and I even went over there, and they were telling me, they were like, raise your head, like you don't put your head down. Like they actually gave me the motivation to pick my head up and be happy. But I was like, I didn't knock her out. So because I didn't knock her out, I didn't think I won. Because everyone told me, they're like, the only way you can win is if you knock her out. And everybody told me that. So when the fight ended and I didn't knock her out, I kind of felt like I failed. And I was like, man, there's no way they're going to give it to me. Everyone believes the world is a crooked, unfair, unjust place. But it was kind of, I feel like that's part of the feeling and why I responded the way I did and why I was so excited, because I truly didn't think that the world would reward me for being a real and authentic person. And then they did. And it just proves and shuts everybody up.
And
It's
great to do that.
Bad as we think it
it
is.
is.
I mean, that's an amazing thing that you did, and I'm so happy for you. And you were just talking about like crazy. I think you said an unjust. We have a crazy unjust guy coming on in a couple minutes, Tyler Goodjohn. I don't know what's going to happen. Minutes away. Thank you again, Britain Hart, coming
Thank you,
on.
Britain.
And we're going to talk to you again real soon, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm always here for you guys. That's what it's all about.
Give me the
So I'm
nuts.
happy to do it. So reach out whenever.
Come on, pound me. Boom.
Boom.
There you go. All right, that didn't come out right. That didn't come out right.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say anything. You guys are just
Thank
too
you,
much.
Britain. We love you, man.
Thank you.
We have Tyler
Yeah,
Goodjohn
bye.
up. Are we going to go straight to Tyler?
No, we're going to go straight to a commercial really fast. Quick
All right.
1 minute break.
Thank you, Britain. Tyler
Thank you,
Goodjohn
Britain.
is coming back in about a minute, and God knows what's going to happen. I can
Stay
tell you
tuned,
this.
chat.
I don't think it's going to be as civilized as the Britain Hart interview.
Not at all.
Life is not about race or religion, black or white, young or old, male or female. It's not about where you live or where you're from. It's about finding your why in life. Tiger Life is a way of life. It's a purpose, a light, the future. We all have a story to tell, so let's tell it. It's time to be heard. Just remember, we may not be able to rewrite our story, but we sure as hell can change the ending. Tiger Life. Energy never tasted so good. Tiger Life is not about race or religion, black or white, young or old, male or female. It's not about where you live or where you're from. It's about finding your why in life. Tiger Life is a way of life. It's a purpose, a light, the future. We all have a story to tell, so let's tell it. It's time to be heard. Just remember, we may not be able to rewrite our story, but we sure as hell can change the ending. Tiger Life. Energy never tasted so good. Tiger Life is not about race or religion, black or white, young or old, male or female. It's not about where you live or where you're from. It's about finding your why in life. Tiger Life is a way of life. It's a purpose, a light, the future. We all have a story to tell, so let's tell it. It's time to be heard. Just remember, we may not be able to rewrite our story, but we sure as hell can change the ending. Tiger Life. Energy never tasted so good. Tiger Life is not about race or religion, black or white, young or old, male or female. It's not about where you live or where you're from. It's about finding your why in life. Tiger Life is a way of life. It's a purpose, a light, the future. We all have a story to tell, so let's tell it. It's time to be heard. Just remember, we may not be able to rewrite our story, but we sure as hell can change the ending. Tiger Life. Energy never tasted so good. Tiger life is not about race or religion.
We're back. I think, I don't know. I was outside shoveling snow here. We're in like a snowstorm here in the Philadelphia area. And they sent me out here to the Bare Knuckle offices. I thought I was like partial host of a podcast there. Everyone's watching a YouTube show, but I'm out shoveling snow between breaks. I was at work.
Do you know how hard it is to drive a Honda Civic?
Dude, I have a Ford Fusion, man. Me and you could have slid here on the dog sleds.
This is nuts, man.
It's definitely crazy outside.
We love it. We love the fans, and I was really excited about hearing who's going to be on. Not just Britain Hart, who's man, she's an exciting.
By the way, I'm sorry. I love Britain Hart. I'm not sighing at her. I'm just thinking who we have to deal with next.
I know
Tyler Goodjohn's going to be on in a couple minutes. Who's caused a lot of problems for the organization, and I'm going to take him to task. I have some questions for him because I never disliked Tyler at first till he pushed me down for no reason and stuff. And I know that we're going to get into that. It's been very controversial if you've been following him and us on social media. And I don't really understand why he would act the way he's acting, why he insults the organization. So we're going to give him a chance today to come on and talk about that.
Yeah, I'll let him air it out. I've got a couple of his comments right now.
Good.
Maybe the producers can put this up on screen. I think this is to Paige Van Zant, dollar signs and a fair play to you, sweetheart. You got the bags. I guess he's referencing, getting paid, but you didn't get the respect. Holla at me if you want a real man. So,
man, Austin's a pretty real man.
Dude.
I mean, Austin Vanderford's a pretty real dude. I wouldn't mess with him.
Yeah, seeing that guy in real life, he's like
he's huge.
Yeah, man.
I didn't realize how big Austin Vanderford was, and he's the nicest guy in real life, but I wouldn't want to fight him. And he walks around like I don't know what he weight. What's his weight? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't
know his exact weight. Yeah. I don't know his exact weight, but when you see him in person, like you go to shake his hand.
He's undefeated in Bellator.
That's what I mean. He's a bad dude. So
he's a bad man for sure.
I don't know. Tyler should be on any minute, but I don't know what he's going to say. He's a loose cannon sometimes. Do you think he's calmed down at all? Do you think he's calmed down in the layoff or whatever? Because neither one of us, they're kind of.
Well, I'm going to read from February 5th. This was one of his last comments, right? So there was some beef with Bare Knuckle. He said he didn't get paid. There were some issues. All the best to, this is Tyler Goodjohn's quote from February 5th. All the best to everyone fighting at Bare Knuckle BKFC tonight. Met some super talented fighters whilst I was out there. Wish everyone all the best and safety. Oh, yeah. David Feldman is see you next Tuesday.
We used that one earlier. It was good. But sometimes in the office we'll say, no, we don't. I'm kidding. Yep. I think that Tyler came over here and he had his fight, and it was interesting to see what happened. Again, I enjoyed working with him at first until he kind of went off the deep end.
Sure.
And I don't know why he would say what he had to say. I've never not been paid working for this organization. Actually, I can't really find anyone that I can think of that's never not been paid, and they pay pretty well. Unprofessional to do that. And again, I'm going to take him to task because I'm not too happy with Tyler Goodjohn right now.
Hey guys, so we actually have Tyler on the line right now.
Oh, he's on. He finally called. Did he call?
Awesome.
He called in. I didn't know if he. I didn't know. I got to tell you before we go to him. I didn't know if he was really going to call in today because I still no one's really clued us in on what's going on with the organization and Tyler. Matter of fact, I was petitioning to try to get David Feldman on here, the president, so they could air out their grievances. Do you think that'll even be an opportunity to do that? Is he even in the building? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think he wasn't. Yeah, he was in a conference call a little bit, but depending on how this goes, I messaged Tyler. I've been talked to him a little bit, going back and forth, just saying, hey, I want to give you the floor. I'm gonna read some of the stuff he's been saying. I want to give him the floor though to air out, what happened, what transpired, where's his head at. Is he starting a new organization in the UK?
Yeah, he's talking about that. There's a lot. Let's let if he's on. They just the producers told us so. Let's get him on.
He's on. Okay.
Tyler Goodjohn, can you hear us? Are you there?
Yeah, what's happening, guys? You good?
There he is, man. The real notorious.
Tyler, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I want to say it's good to see you, but there's been some problems between you and the organization, and I don't know what happened. I've been in the dark. I'm off having children, and my wife's having children, so I didn't know what was going on. But I think you claimed that you weren't paid by Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. So, I mean, I'm curious. I've never not been paid. What happened? What's going on? Why would you say that on social media?
I wasn't paid. Well, I wasn't paid for 5.5 weeks. I wasn't paid any of my expenses, and I was made a lot of promises, and they didn't come to fruition. So I say it didn't happen. Do you know what I mean? So I'm as disappointed as what you guys are. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to come over and be a superstar in America. So yeah, I'm as disappointed as anyone in all this. Do you know what I mean?
So are you back? I mean, I'm seeing things on your social media. I haven't really had a chance. I might have spoke to David Feldman for like half a second today because he was on the conference call when I walked in. What are you officially back with us? Is that what's happening right now?
So me and Dave spoke yesterday on the phone. We didn't quite get to say what we probably both wanted to say, but do you know what? We just agreed.
Is there bad blood there between you two? I'm going to ask you straight out. Is there bad blood there because of the payment issue? But they did pay you.
Yeah, 5.5 weeks after my fight, and I was on my own in America with no money, no nothing. I had no one. I had no help. I messaged Dave. I messaged Kev, my manager, to try and get this money sorted, and all they come back with was a different excuse every day. So and I'm stuck in the middle of Vegas with no money. I actually sent a picture of my bank account to David, and I had £40 in my account. If people want to hate me because I've gone and done my job and fought and put my life on the line, this took 5.5 weeks to get paid. I done my bit. I come out to America. And
why did it take? Hold on. Why did it take 5.5?
No nothing.
Hold on. Why did it take 5.5 weeks to get paid? Can you like what happened? You're just saying that.
I genuinely, everyone was telling me something different. I had Kevin, my manager, telling me one thing. I had Dave telling me another thing.
Speaking of,
hold on, Tyler. Actually, I didn't think you were coming on. I'm sorry, we didn't expect this.
Sorry.
Is his mic working? Get his mic set up, producers, and get his headphones on. Get him ready. I didn't expect Dave to walk in, so Dave is here. David Feldman, the president, founder of BKFC, is here with us, and you're talking about not getting paid and everything that went down. Now, who better than from the horse's mouth to talk about what happened? Because you're starting to talk about, I don't know, Rob doesn't know. David and you truly know what happened. So, David, you came in here. Are you willing to air your grievances live? Like, go at this, see what's going on?
I have nothing to hide. What did he say prior to me getting here?
Tyler, you can talk on this too, but I can give you a quick thing. He said he didn't get paid for 5.5 weeks. He had no money, and he was sending you pictures of his account, and that he was giving excuses, and he basically, you guys didn't pay him for 5.5 weeks, and he couldn't live. Is that correct, Tyler?
That's it. Yeah.
Were you issued a check at the fight, my man?
Say it again.
Were you issued a check at the fight? A check?
No, because beforehand, it was already it was already been said that I didn't want to be paid in a check.
Who was that? Who was that communicated to? Who was that communicated to? Was that communicated to me?
Hold on, guys.
Kevin,
Hold on, guys. I want to say something. I want to say something real quick.
Guys, if we
Listen,
can, we'll try to get one.
yeah, this
person
is.
at a time.
I can feel tensions running high. Sorry, Rob. I can feel tensions running high. I can see it in Dave's eyes a little bit because I think he feels disrespected because he knows he made the payment, Tyler, and you feel disrespected as well because you don't think you got the payment. So I can tell where this is going. I can tell. I know David well enough to see it in his eyes. So what I'm going to ask you guys is going to be hard, but we're in different parts of the world here. It's going to be hard to hear you two, and it's going to be hard for you two to communicate. So I know you might get mad. You might get upset. Try to stay calm. And don't yell over each other. So because I want to know what's going on.
Look, man, I'm all about business.
I don't need to get mad about it.
I'm all about business. At the end of the day, is I know that we did the right thing. We issued his manager a check. Then his manager said he couldn't take a check. Then we attempted to wire money, and we were unable to do that. And then we wired money. And he has a small little bank in the UK that took it over 2 weeks for him to get there. But he was showed proof of the wire time and time again. He was also. I didn't send him a lot of money, but I cash apped him a few bucks. I had Kevin Smith cash app him a few bucks, and I reimbursed Kevin Smith on that. So we did everything that we could possibly do. But at the same time, when someone's going out there saying I'm a scumbag and I'm not paying you and I'm a piece of shit, I'm probably not going to rush to say, oh, let me make sure this guy's good when he's calling me a piece of shit.
He's trying to take your
company. But
company.
at the end of the day, and I'm going to let Tyler respond, but at the end of the day, Tyler hit me up for a fight. He wants to fight. And look, this is a business.
Yep.
We are the fastest growing combat sport organization in the world. Tyler Goodjohn has a amazing character. He's an amazing story, and he can fight his ass off. And a lot of people say he didn't fight that good in that fight that he fought in December.
It's felony. Yeah.
He was also coming off he was 2 weeks out of COVID. So
yeah, that's not easy.
You know what I mean? I mean, I'm all about building this organization, and I think that he can add value to this organization. So he wants to come back, and I want him to come back. So he's going to come back, and that's all it really is. Whatever happened in the past, I just know that we did the right thing. Maybe it wasn't, communicated to him that what we were doing because there was intermediaries in the middle. But obviously, we couldn't have done that wrong of a thing, or he wouldn't have called me for a fight.
I do want to say this before Tyler responds, Tyler, and this might help set your mind at ease a little bit. I don't normally eavesdrop on your office, David. I don't normally listen to your phone conversations or anything, but I was outside working at a desk while this was going on. I had no clue what was happening. And I remember hearing you talking to Kevin Smith, and he was calling about the payment going through. And you said, wait, we just wired it. All right, call our financial guy, make sure it's good. And then you even offered, you're talking about cash apping him some money. You even offered, I'll throw him a couple bucks. So I can, again, I just see what goes on, Tyler. I can tell you that.
Thank you, but that doesn't matter. Look, what matters is at the end of the day, the guy got paid. Did he get paid late? Absolutely. Was it our fault? It was not our fault, but it was just one of those things that happened. He did get paid in 5 weeks. He's not lying. It took 5 weeks for him to actually receive his money. I'm not sitting here calling him a liar, but I am going to say that he wasn't listening to what was going on in him getting his money wired to him. I will say that.
All right.
But at the end of the day, I'm not lying and he's not lying. It's just I'm telling my story and he's telling his story. My story is that we attempted to make the payment right away. We've never had anyone dispute a payment from us
ever.
in the 2.5 years with the millions and millions of dollars that went through people's hands. Never ever. So was there some kind of circumstance? Absolutely. Something happened and it took him 5 weeks to get paid. At the end of the day, Tyler reached out to me to fight again. So he reached out to me. He wants to fight again. I want him to fight again. So there you go. He's going to fight.
I'm
again.
I'm gonna hop
Please.
in right now. I'm gonna ask him the tough questions again. Tyler, thanks for joining us. Coming off that performance with Charles Bennett, did you take that fight too lightly? Did you look past him? Were you looking towards Jim Allers, Louis Palomino? I mean, their response to your performance. I mean, I'm just reading some of the comments right now, and the Instagram, the Twitter beef that's going back and forth. That you have no chance in the ring with either one of them, Louis Palomino, Jim Allers, or even a Jason Knight, who was on commentary during your fight and basically stating that
I want to fight this guy.
Just go back to Britain. You shouldn't be here. You're overhyped.
He was kind of saying that, but he was also saying, if I can remember, that this is, if I have to fight a guy, I'll fight. He was kind of pointing, like, I'll fight him, like kind of saying it would be an easy fight almost.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear from Tyler.
Yeah, but guys, one thing you got to remember, right? One thing you got to remember: would any of these so-called hard men fighters come travel over to America. I have to go quarantine for 2 weeks to go to get into their country. I've got no team, no trainer, no nothing. I've just trained myself. I'm fighting a veteran pro MMA fighter, bare knuckle, with no team. There's not one English person in that building, right? And all these little pussies talking shit, going, oh yeah, go back to England. That none of them guys would do that. None of them would have the bollocks to do that. So sit the fuck down, all you little mugs.
Well, the one thing I do want to say, look, I've been in fighting for a long, long time.
Oh, yeah.
And I just want to, go on this point. At the end of the day, like I said, we went back and forth. He said some things. We didn't go back and forth. He went back, and I never
You didn't go forth.
I didn't
There was
give
no
a
volleying.
shit. I don't give a shit. This is business. But at the end of the day, look, when these fighters, these gladiators, these guys that are risking their life to get into the ring have a bad night, have a bad day at work, it's not like going to your job and like wiping your nose off because you have sniffles or something like that. Like you have a bad day, you could end up getting seriously hurt or getting killed. And
Serious.
He went in there having a bad day.
It's true.
And he came out, with the victory. I know that wasn't 100% Tyler Goodjohn, or the Tyler Goodjohn at 100%. Or if I really thought that, I probably wouldn't say, yeah, come back and fight, because it would make no
Of course,
sense.
make you guys look
I
bad.
think that, I think his next fight, which, my mind, ever since he reached out to me last night, my mind started going,
Yeah.
and I got some good possibilities. So we'll see what happens on this. But yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, Tyler, you can say whatever you want to say, and you did, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, I think that you didn't show up in that fight because you had some underlying circumstances. You just explained half of it. But on the other,
I'm gonna hop in real
but
fast,
on the other
Dave.
respect, I just want to say one more thing. But in the other respect, I do feel as though you disrespected the sport a little bit by the way that you were living a little bit at the beginning before you really buckled down and trained. And I talked to you about that personally. Now I think you're going to dedicate yourself. I hope you are, and show the world, what you're supposed to do.
That was going to be my question. Thanks for transitioning. What's going to change?
Yeah.
What are you going to do now to come back and basically put on the performance that you think you can do, knowing what you do, knowing the quarantining, knowing your, the struggles and the hurdles of getting over here and fighting in 2021. What's new? What's different?
How do you do it?
Look, there was, I would say the biggest factor, or the factor that I didn't fight as well as I can, is that I didn't have my trainer there. I didn't have my trainer there. He would have kicked my ass when I walked back to the corner, but having my hands down and being a prick and goading him on and trying to have a fight. That's, I didn't have my trainer. I didn't have anyone. I had Christine, who's my friend, who had, done everything for me while I was out there, but, I had no one there. So just having the confidence of having my trainer to tell me, in between rounds, look, just bring me back down and go, look, get back to your boxing or whatever. Yeah, I'm proud of myself. I went out there against the odds, like I say, and Fenley's a good fighter. I've spoke to Fenley since. He said that he was excited about the fight with me, so he trained really hard and that. So he went in there in shape, and Fenley's no mug. He's a good fighter. So, yeah, like I say, I'm proud of what I've done, but the next fight will be much, much better because the circumstances will have changed.
And Tyler, right now we actually have Brandon Lambert, who fought at Knuckle Mania. He's in the chat.
Oh, wow.
He's asking this 10K challenge. I'm not sure what that is.
I
Can
know
you
what
speak?
it is.
Okay.
I've heard him talk about it. Do you know about the
Yeah,
10K challenge, Tyler?
Oh, yeah, and I've already accepted it. Give me that 10 grand and I'll iron him into next week. I like, he can come and have it with me at the weekend. Do you know what I mean? For 10 grand. This geezer is a fucking idiot. He was like, I thought he was going to suck me off in Miami. He's coming up to me wanting photos and cuddling me and everything else. And then the next week, he's trolling me online, just trying to steal my clout. He's literally a nobody. He's the worst fighter I've ever seen. And I think everyone should just fucking stop talking about him.
I know you want us to stop talking about him, and he's in the chat. He's doing his own talking now. As far as he goes, if you don't know, if you're just tuning in, we're speaking about the $10,000 challenge, which Brandon Lambert offered $10,000 of his own money if he could fight Tyler Goodjohn, and he said if he beats me, he gets the $10,000. Hey, I would have made the fight. It's not going to cost BKFC anything, and I want to see it happen, but I don't know if we'll end up doing that. Because like you're saying, people are ignoring. But yeah, $10,000 is his own money. Is he that sure, Tyler, or is it just a gimmick?
Oh, it's 100% a gimmick. He hasn't got 10 grand. You know what I mean?
His hair's green and his money's green. Who knows? I wonder where. But if you beat him, he has to give you the 10 grand. Where's it coming from? Sponsorships?
So I think he does have 10 grand, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. That's not what we're looking to do. Brandon Lambert, I do like him. He's a nice guy.
Yes.
I know he puts on a different persona online, but he's a nice dude. He is a nice dude. But at the end of the day, we're looking to put on the best fights possible. And Tyler Goodjohn is going to take a step up from Charles Bennett on this next fight, and he's hopefully going to show the world that the Tyler Goodjohn, the reason why we wanted to bring him over here in the first place. And
well, who's in the mix?
Yeah, for the fight.
I know you. I know I'm.
He's not going to cart. He's not going to tell us.
I'm putting the cart ahead of the horse right now.
You tell me who's in the mix.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick it to I'm gonna kick it to Tyler Goodjohn. Who do you want to see next? Who do you think would be a formidable opponent for you? Excuse me.
What the fight I would like?
Yeah,
you're going back and forth with Louis Palomino, Jim Allers. If you had your pick,
I would. I mean, Palomino and me are down the line. I think give it a year or something. That's a fight that we can. He goes and defends his title. I've said from the moment I stepped in that ring when I was in Miami, I want Palomino in Miami. I want to beat him in front of all his fans. But we can build that fight up. Down the line, obviously when it's open, I'll have it somewhere in Miami. Do you know what I mean? And fill a venue out, and you can have all the Cubans hating on me and that. But right now,
we'll have to get some extra security for this fight.
That's right, man. Seriously.
But I like Lobov. He's a tough guy, and with the right training and everything else, I'll make him into a highlight reel of him missing me. Do you know what I mean?
All right.
There you go, Tyler Goodjohn. So now it's official. He's back with the organization. We're doing business together, which this is never say never, because I got to tell you, when I saw what was happening on social media with you, I know we're going to get past that, but I never thought we'd do business again together. So that just
Tyler, you're wild as
it's funny.
Rob, man, you're crazy as hell, brother.
Rob,
I'm a loose cannon, right? I'm an absolute loose
ticking
cannon,
time bomb.
But I am what I am. I'm a bare knuckle fighter. I mean, my best friend, Mark Godbeer, another one, bare knuckle fighter. Me and him were like brothers. We're both batshit crazy.
Another guy that knocked back on our door.
We get in the ring and we do bare knuckles. You know what I mean? And we love it and we enjoy it. So
I'll give you one plug though. The documentary that came out. I'm not sure who actually produced it. It was good regarding Tyler Goodjohn. I watched the entire thing.
Can I watch it too? Can I say one thing, Tyler? Can I say one thing about that documentary? Bro, learn how to drive.
Look, the guy's got a story, man. The guy can fight, and he has a story. And bare knuckle's a different breed, and he was one of the best that did it in England. So he's coming over here. He's coming off of I'll say a lackluster performance, and now we're going to step it up, and we're going to see what you're made of. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not here to be your friend. You're not here to be my friend. I'm here to make you money, and I'm here to put on the best fights for the people. And I'm going to put on the best fights, and you're going to be in one of them. And if you can stand up, at top of that list, then you're going to be, proclaimed as the best of the best in the world. And that's what we're looking to do. And I know you mentioned Mark Godbeer, another guy that hit me up 2 days ago to ask to come back, because all these things, I think the big situation here is it's just communication. We're dealing with some managers, we're dealing with some people in the middle, and we don't actually communicate. And when we do communicate, there's never been a problem. And when we don't communicate, there's always a problem, kind of like a marriage.
It's kind of true.
You're saying shit.
It's like I said. It's like I messaged you last night. Look, I admit I'm a loose cannon. I'm mental, but I'm a very loyal person. You do your bit, and I promise you, I'll do my bit. I'll die in that ring. I'm the most entertaining fighter out there.
Well, the one thing that we both agree on is that BKFC is the biggest bare knuckle organization and the best in the entire world, right?
Yeah, I even when all this was going on with the payment and that, I still was saying in every Instagram live and I was saying bare knuckle fighting championship will be the biggest sport in the world, no doubt about it. That's what I'm saying. I was more disappointed than anyone.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Because coming out there and fighting for you guys was my dream. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want to go home. I didn't want my dream to be over. So I was more disappointed than anyone. But like you just said, David, there was a lot of communication problems, and if we can get that fixed and move forward, yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely going to get fixed. Sitting across from David, and talking to you, I mean, David's really big, as he said, on giving opportunity. He puts the prize in front of you. You can get it. Good for you. If not, then on to the next one, I guess. And that's what I'm excited to see.
Look, and a lot of people did say, Tyler Goodjohn, he's talking this, he's talking that, all this stuff. And I just want to remind, and I don't want to come off the wrong way to the public, and hopefully I don't, but I want to remind everybody that the organization is bigger than any single fighter. We're going to build this organization amongst the best fighters in the world collectively, not just one fighter. So, things are going to happen. And here we are. Look, obviously, we're running a great organization because he wants to come back and fight for us. And he's going to, and he's a great fighter. And it's going to be a good working relationship moving forward.
Agree.
But I just want to say, we're building something really special here with all the fighters. And all these fighters, as you saw in Knuckle Mania, they all came to fight. It was our best card, hands down, from top to bottom. And we just showed it. These are, and I always say it, I say it in the pre-fight, as you heard, Tyler. I go, you guys are the baddest motherfuckers in the world. Like, you are. You guys are the baddest motherfuckers in the world. And when you guys can come out there and do what you got to do, we pay you well. And now, obviously we're going to communicate a little better, and we're going to blow this thing up together.
I agree. And I'm very proud to be a part of it. I know Rob is too. Tyler, thank you for joining us. I think we're about done with Tyler there. Our time's up. And I just want you to go.
Thank you very much, Tyler.
You're good? You got your questions? All right. Tyler, thank you for checking in. We're in a working relationship now, so look forward to seeing you around the fights. And I'm going to let you go to enjoy your welcome home balloon behind you. Whoever got you, that's a nice person.
Thank you very much for having me on here, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on. See you later, my friend.
Nothing.
I can't believe I just called him my friend. That was strange because this guy, again, I don't dislike Tyler. I don't, but like, he put his hands on me. I can't condone that. The first time I met him, and what he did that we've gotten past now as an organization, it's like a 50-50 thing with him because I want to see what he has to offer, but I'm still kind of annoyed at what he did.
And the chat's actually pretty surprised that
what
David Gate, the chat's flat out surprised that, David's letting him fight again. So again,
look, at the end of the day, and this is to the chat. Look, man, I appreciate your support and I appreciate your loyalty towards this organization. But at the end of the day, I want to give you guys the best fights out there, and I think that he's going to provide some highlights in the future. And if he doesn't, then he's going to go back across the pond again, and he's not going to come back.
I think you're giving him a very, very,
a pass. So what are you going to say? Like a free pass?
A free pass after his last performance. Some people weren't impressed.
But had he not had COVID 2 weeks prior, he wouldn't have got a free pass. He just wouldn't have. I wouldn't have said, "Oh, maybe this happened," or "You didn't train right." Well, if you didn't train right, that's your own problem. That's not our problem. But he did have COVID. We got the test. He did get a negative test, and he was able to fight. So I don't think he was 100%. So he's going to get one more shot, and I think he's going to take this opportunity and run with it. And if he doesn't again, then there's thousands and thousands more fighters that want to fight for this.
We're getting resumes and tapes and calls every day. Tapes. I'm old. Like, what do they call them? The files about stuff like that. So it is cool, and I agree with you. Said with what you said. I need more Tiger Life. We're bigger than any one fighter, and I think all the fighters that are the core of the organization realize that. And they kind of combine to make we need them, they need us. But
well, I mean, with that being said, that wasn't a dig on the fighters.
No, not at all.
That was like, collectively, these guys and girls are the baddest, baddest fighters in the world. Are they the most technical in one respect and maybe not in another respect? Are they the toughest people in the world to be able to do this? I say absolutely, hands down.
Yeah, it's awesome. I was talking to Lambert about this last week about how now we're seeing different types of bare knuckle emerge. We're seeing different styles. You didn't see that in the beginning, and you're going to see that more as the sport emerges. And they are the baddest people that I know, that I've ever seen. And it's going to be interesting to see as these people become more. Some of them become more scientific boxers or fighters, I should say. Some of them are brawlers. So you're going to see all these styles emerge. I'm excited to see that, and I'm excited that Tyler, if he's coming back, he's going to bring the UK style over here, which is cool.
Yeah, he has a very, very unique style with.
Who's Olsen?
And we're reading the comments right now.
Steve Gladwin. Who's Olsen? Is that the guy? Oh, yeah, I know who Olsen is.
Big Ben saying we care 100% about our fans. That's very true. Big Ben was one of our big...
Is that Eric Olsen?
Yes, I think he mentioned that. Tyler Goodjohn mentioned him as well. He's a
Eric Olsen
fighter. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll never fight for our organization, ever. That guy, no, he's he has some sexual things with people that he shouldn't.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he actually attacked my wife.
Wow.
On the internet, that guy. Actually, you know what?
You know what?
You can fight for BKFC.
I was going to say, hold on. He
you
said
can
never.
fight for BKFC.
Yeah,
Eric Olson, come on over here.
Eric
you
Olson,
can fight
can
for
we
BKFC.
get Eric Olson on this channel? Because I know that guy was.
Can we not all everyone talk at once?
All right.
Because I don't even know what you're saying. I'm
All
deaf.
right, so let me bring this back
Go ahead, thank you.
a little bit. So now everything is jogging my memory. This guy was.
He's got Tiger Life in him now.
Yeah,
He's ready
no.
to rock. His show's getting finished here in a little bit. He's ready to go.
Brian, you have no idea what this dude was saying. He was creating like multiple profiles on social media.
What's this guy's name?
Eric Olson, I think. Eric, he was creating multiple profiles on social media, going after Dave Feldman, going after his wife, and just like real life, like not even trolling. Like
It wasn't a
if I
gimmick.
see- yeah, it wasn't a gimmick.
Leave the
He
family out of
wasn't
it.
he wasn't championing for a fight. The
Really?
dude's just like, the dude's out there, and
I mean, look, he can fight. He can fight. He's a good fighter. But at the end of the day, man, if he wants to come fight, I think I got one left in me, buddy.
Yeah, let's do it. I don't want it to be against me or you. Let it be against this Olsen guy.
yeah, I don't even know if he's championing for a fight. I think he was champion to Tyler Goodjohn lately of a fight with him. I'm not sure if they fought before in the past, but yeah, that guy's something else, man. He's
Olsen.
Yeah.
Olsen, you got it, dude. You want to fight? You got it, dude. Like the Olsen twins. See that little reference? You get the like Full House rep? That was bad. You got it, dude, if you want to fight.
That's almost like it's where you don't want some of these people.
That's why this guy is always falling down in the ring.
People hit me because I'm stupid. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, as Britain Hart would say, you don't want to give too much credit to these trolls and highlighting the negativity.
Exactly.
But it's almost to a point where this person is so vile or they're so negative.
He's more than a troll.
Awesome. We'll put you in the ring with a real American BK fighter.
Look what they just said.
A real American bare
Before you even
fighter.
said, they wrote Olsen is vile. You said the
That's
same
funny.
thing, so everyone's thinking the same way.
I would love to put him in the ring with an American bare knuckle fighter to really show what America's made of, and maybe it might humble him a little bit. He might see the light.
Phil in the chat, our photographer.
I saw Phil in the chat.
Phil's in the chat.
Phil is saying that it was really me trolling David on my fake account. Look, I've been beaten up enough. I don't need to be beaten up and pushed around by the owner of the company. I wouldn't do that to you, Dave. I'd be too fearful. But maybe now I'll have some fun with somebody. Fake account.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we have here in the account.
Yeah, I think we'll take a couple more questions in the chat, and I think we'll wrap it up for
fucking
today.
brutal, man.
I don't even pay attention to half the stuff they're saying.
You're like, holy shit! I thought they attacked me, man. They attack everybody.
Yeah, man. You have to have thick skin to be on the chat.
Holy shit!
Hey, man, it is what it is. It's not a show unless we all get attacked.
Nah, that's okay. Hey, look, if they're not attacking,
They
you,
called me
you're not
Dak
doing
Shepard.
anything.
Somebody called me the dude from what's it called? That Dak Shepard. What was he on? McDreamy.
Oh, yes, McDreamy.
He's one of them. When I was
They
doing
said you look like a
interviews-
poor man's McDreamy.
Yeah, they called me McDreamy. They called me a poor man's. When I have my hair, because I cut my hair and all, I have my hat on. But they called me a poor man's Joe Rogan at first. Then they said, but at least I look like McDreamy. So I called my wife immediately.
Yeah,
and I was
that's-
like, dude, I'm a hunk. And I think they said that Lytle was like
There
Randy
he is.
Couture.
Yeah, you are a poor man's him.
with my hair.
You're
They never
certainly-
called me poor man's. They said I look exactly like the hunk that the women love. Ask my wife.
Yeah, you know what? You do.
great.
You do resemble
With
him.
the
You have
hair.
the same color hair.
I got some facial hair, right? And then they said Lytle was who? Randy Couture. I think Sean was, who'd they call Sean Wheelock? They basically went through everybody. Jeff
Yes,
Houston was,
yeah.
my gosh, Buffer. Bruce Buffer, a poor man's Bruce Buffer, something they called him. But hey, you know what? I like that. I like that there's comparison there, and I don't want to be them. So I'm glad. I'll be a poor man. I don't care. I am poor now. We're growing.
We love it, man. We love the
It's
hate.
fun.
We love
Love
the,
you guys.
We love the love more. We appreciate everybody
Love it all.
tuning in.
You can't make fun of us because you know why? Because we're not people. We're feelings.
That's right.
Got
Who do
that
we
for
have-
you, Britain. That's for
who do
you,
we-
Britain Hart.
Yeah. Who do we have
Can
lined
I
up
tell
next
them
week?
who I'm getting for you guys next week?
I'm afraid who?
Sure. I don't know. Do you know, Brian?
I have no clue. When he says stuff like that, I might start to sweat because when he makes plans, they get a little nuts. What do you have?
He was at the last fight. He was a boy band in a boy band.
I know who he is. I'm a huge fan of him.
Who
I'm
is
not,
he?
Oh, Joey, used to jokingly call him Joey Fatone, Fatone. We say Joey Fat One. Not that he was fat, but Joey Fatone, huge NSYNC fan. I know all about him. I can tell you a lot about Joey. Big fight fan. He's really going to come on?
Yeah, we're going to get him on next week. Yep.
Oh, my
That's awesome,
God.
man. He was on, what was the that comedy show? Oh, man.
We're getting him on it, and a lot of people might say, why are you getting him
He's
on?
a huge fight fan.
He was at our last fight. He was right in the front row. We
Impractical
loved it,
Jokers, man.
and we just
He
wanted
was
to
on
get him
Impractical
talking
Yeah, he
about it.
does
Jokers.
Impractical
He's a great
Jokers.
show.
He was an
He's a great
NSYNC, if
dude.
you don't know who he is. And here's the thing. I think all of our wives are going to be lined up outside the studio wanting to get in to talk to him. And I don't even know, I might start to sweat.
I hope he's not a
to
science
fan me.
teacher.
I'm getting nervous. I'm like a fanboy. I'm going to sing. Can I sing NSYNC to him when he comes on to see if he likes it? He can rate me. I'll sing like a quick NSYNC
yeah.
line. He can see how good I am or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
I might have a boy band career. That's all I'm saying. I don't have a fighting career. That's
All
for
right,
damn
let's
sure.
hear an NSYNC line.
All right. I want you back in sync. I want. No, that's the Backstreet Boys. In the chat, give me an NSYNC song.
Tell me
Oh,
why.
bye. No, they're bye.
Bye.
That's
just,
NSYNC.
Just
That's
Timberlake?
insane.
That's
Yeah.
NSYNC.
Oh, it is.
Bye. Bye.
I think we're gonna.
On that note,
Yeah.
bye, Brian.
I think we'll close out.
That's the bye. That's why I did it. Well, listen. Sorry. Thank you very much for tuning in. We always have fun hanging out with you guys, and we're looking forward to the
Thank
same
you,
time.
Brian.
Thank you.
Also, everybody tune in. We have a big women's signing announcement next week.
I didn't know about this
What
either.
is
I'm
going
excited.
on?
Yeah, I'm just going to drop bombs on you guys.
This is what he
man.
does. I knew nothing. I want to say really quick when I got
And
that.
people-
Listen,
and
just
people
so you
think
guys
it's
know, Rob's
scripted.
gonna,
It's not.
we're
It's
out.
far from.
We're out.
They're playing the music saying, "Get done."
Yeah,
We're
we're
out.
done.
Thank you
See
for
you
joining
guys.
us. We'll
Thanks.
see you next week with Joey Fatone. Knuckle up.